Ah, but she recognized her place in the great scheme. Some things, as history has illustrated, best left to their slumber. I speak in riddles. I talk of the stricken wolf ship.
Ah, the U-boat episode. Miss Croft would never enlighten me as to the details. For my own protection, she would often stress.
Indeed, Winston. And for this you should be grateful. Deep in the bowels of their vessels lay one of the most powerful artifacts in all Christendom. An artifact which, when wielded at the vanguard of an army, would make that army invincible.
The Spear of Destiny.
But the boat never reached the fatherland with its precious cargo. It disappeared from radar 3 weeks into the journey. This was the resting place of the 52 seamen, and also something much more sinister. The Zapadnaya Litsa port, once the pride of the Russian fleet. Ex-KGB, the majority of them, trained killers.
Dealt with mafioso before. Unpleasant memories. Prefer to avoid them whenever possible.
Yes, I would prefer this also.
Hardly a major search party, is it? There's something you're not telling me.
Ah, yes.
I'm a big girl now. Hit me with the bad news.
It is bad news. The Admiral's allegiance has been bought, and under his command, a nuclear submarine. It's housed in one of the dockyards.
Well done. Nuclear submarine. Sounds nice. Perfect holiday.
Lara, wait. Take this tracking device.
What's this? You're not worried about me.
Yes, somebody has to.
Touching, but don't wait up.
Hello and welcome everyone to Let's Play Tomb Raider 5 Chronicles, Guys 115 speaking! Well, we've definitely broken that ventilation cover. So let's consider this our first object broken. Let me welcome you to the base. So we have now officially entered the second of the 4 chapters of Tomb Raider 5, the Russian chapter. Now, every single chapter of this game has 3 levels, but Russia is a little bit of an exception. Remember how I told you every level has 3 secrets? In Russia, they decided to split one level into 2. As a result, there are 4 overall levels, and one of them is going to have 1 secret, and the other is going to have 2 secrets only. And then there are going to be 2 3-secret levels. Hopefully that makes sense. So, probably due to some memory constraints or hardware limitations, they decided to do it this way, but I'm going to talk about that more once we get there. We're going to find 18 items here, to kill 10 enemies, break 5 objects, just like the vent cover here, and find 3 secrets, so the usual ordeal. Now, very important note here, we lost all the inventory we've been piling up in Rome. Think of every one of the 4 chapters of Tomb Raider 5 as sort of their own separate game. I think that helps the most. The only thing that carries over are really the in-game stats and secrets, that's it. But essentially what this means is that we are back to 3 small health packs, 1 large health pack, 3 flares, binoculars, pistols. The same deal as in Rome. Now in the next chapter in Ireland, it's gonna be different. It's not gonna be quite the same. By the way, might I just point out how different the binocs in-game are from those Lara used in the FMV cutscene? They had all this fancy, completely pointless, but I guess what at the time was considered a cool sci-fi interface. And these are just your standard binocs that can shine light, right? Anyway, so just keep in mind that you cannot properly hoard supplies as you move through the chapters. There are resets. After the start of the game, there are 3 additional resets happening like this. Okay? And actually, this is the final chapter where we will have our pistols. There'll be no pistols in Ireland or New York, interestingly enough. Now, one correction I need to make is the Uzis. We are gonna find them here. But something crazy is gonna happen. In the next level, we are again going to lose our inventory. So just be as wasteful as you possibly can. Now I'm not, but at the same time, I'm gonna try and tackle the no pistols challenge somehow in this level. There is a certain point after which it should be possible to stop using pistols, and I'm gonna highlight it to you. First of all, it's exactly as it looks like. There is a guy in the crane control room who's trying to kill us with a crane claw. That's exactly as batshit insane as it sounds, but I absolutely love a challenge like this. So, one important thing, let me reduce the sound of the crane somewhat, just so it doesn't get on our nerves quite as much, because we are gonna be hearing that thing quite a lot, okay? Now, you can pretty much ignore what I'm doing right now if you wanna get all the goodies at a later, more safer stage in the level, but I just want to get them now because we're gonna go Uzi crazy in this level. So, I apologize, Rome, the Colosseum is not the final level where we are gonna use them. Now, he's not doing a particularly good job of following us with that crane. Oh my god, no, I take that back, Okay, I have absolutely deserved this. Serves me also right for lowering the volume. Now I can barely hear the crane, but I just really didn't want it to get on our nerves. So really all that you need to do ASAP is get the key in this locker here. Now, there are going to be a couple of explorable lockers just like there were shelves in the Streets of Rome level. So far, as much as I found out both in PC and PS1 version, it's only worth it to search them once, but as I made a commitment in both versions, I'm gonna test and search them multiple times to see if perhaps there are some hidden goodies, okay? Now, we have a key, but that's not really gonna help us because we need a swipe card over here, and there's another path on this side over here. And you know what, let me bring the volume of the crane up because it's just gonna surprise us. Yeah, now you can roughly actually estimate how far it is. Again, we need a swipe card, not a key, but there is one door which accepts a key, and that's behind this stack of crates on the side where we came from. And make a note of this grate over here, that's where we need to go and to continue. And there doesn't seem to be a way to open it, which is why Lara will actually use the claw to rip her way through, as crazy as that sounds, okay? Now, I'm really looking forward to the next room because we get to demonstrate some rather cool AI behavior. So first of all, get into a crawl, Lara, because our enemies here will crawl as well. Ah, they don't seem to be aware of us. See, one sitting on a chair doing something to a computer, the other one's just looking. Okay, let's see if we can maybe surprise them, because one of them drops a swipe card. Okay, now how do we want to handle this? You know what, Lara? Oh my god. Okay, let's do it like this. Well, you ducking isn't gonna do you much good. Ooh, took a sizable chunk of our health with him. Okay, the other one did not, however. So apparently you can sneak up on them if you crawl behind the view of those windows. That's really interesting, and as you can see, once they become aware of Lara, they will actually knock down this chair. I just think that's a really cool detail. Anyway, the second one of these Russian soldiers drops the swipe card that we were after. Let's see what it's called. Oh, swipe card, that's fair enough. No Soviet sign, so this is early 90s, the post-Soviet Russia, you know, when things started to look like people may have human rights again. Oh boy, how times have changed. And they basically see the entire base of operations from this control room. Well, not anymore, because Lara killed them, right? So, it's a good place to really do some damage early on. At least I like to think that's how the developers designed it, because this way no one's gonna see us moving through the base. And inside this cabinet over here, or a locker, we get our hands on Uzis. Now, my apologies, I'm not gonna start the no pistols challenge quite yet, because there simply isn't enough ammunition in this level. I'll tell you at which point it will be possible. I did some thorough testing in that regard. First of all, oh, this makes me so happy. Again, just like in the streets of Rome, you can break glass, and just like in a bunch of Tomb Raider 2 levels. I don't know why that brings me so much joy. So remember, we have the swipe card, so we need to get on the other side of this warehouse and... No, I'm not making the same mistake. Although, you can see the shadow on the ground. Whoa! Close call this time. To continue, you can go on the right one, but I'm gonna choose the left one intentionally, because there we can get our hands on the first secret and do away with a particularly nasty enemy. Actually, Uzis are a great choice of weapon for this enemy, but you know what? Once we start using Uzis, I just want to keep using them, so I'm not gonna use them quite yet. Dogs, yes, these guys, these wolf dogs, are even more ferocious than the ones in Italy, the Dobermans. They are tough, they take a beating, and they are incredibly fast. They are the most dangerous enemy in this level. Thankfully, there are gonna be only 3 of them. Now, I'm very proud that I actually discovered this. I noticed I wasn't even using a flare or binocs, I was just... Isn't there a crack behind? And absolutely there is. So just shoot this, there's a second breakable object, and when you jump inside, at the very end, you will see a rose, okay? Nothing up there, do not worry about that. Now, unfortunately, like in the Colosseum level, every single secret here is without any material or supply-like reward. I'm incredibly disappointed, it's a wasted potential, okay? Now, the other doorway we can use a swipe card, and I believe this will help us access the upper level, and that's when the real challenge of this huge crane warehouse begins. By the way, notice how Lara's backpack is different. It is... Yeah, I can't really get her ponytail out of the way, but it's just... It's much thinner. It's a different kind of backpack when you think about it. Not the classic one. It has the same textures, sure, but it's not the same shape. Anyway, Lara just squeezed it to its very limit. You know what? Let's appreciate the area and let me explain. And no, you cannot jump over. I know that's what you're thinking. So maybe from this angle it will be the best. I'd like to explain in advance what I'm trying to achieve here. So thankfully some rail has broken off. We need to get inside the control room and dispatch the soldier controlling the crane. Now this is not really an enemy or a killable enemy. It's a guy controlling the crane, and Lara's gonna do away with him in a cutscene, okay? So I'm not even including him in the kill stats. We are gonna jump on this pile of crates, then on that pile of crates, then all the way to the very back. You can maybe see it in the distance, the binocs don't cast light that far ahead, but there is a small health pack. From there, we're gonna return to this stack of crates, and then make a jump to that stack of crates, so we can jump on that part of the upper warehouse where the rail is missing again and make it to the control room. So it's less confusing than I perhaps might have made it sound. Let's see. Okay. Now, let's make it to the very corner. Again, it helps to shimmy so that you'll be ready much earlier to do running jump. Okay, perfect. Then another one, please. Thank you, Lara, for your cooperation. The crane is following us, but not doing a particularly good job of it. And up here we go. Oh, there you are. Okay. Oh no, we're losing time. It's coming. It's closer. Ah! Lara, I think you should just get down on the floor and start rolling. Apparently that helps against feral cranes. Oh, whoa. Okay, let's not do that. Okay, and here... That was a bit of a risky jump. Okay, the crane is actually very close now. But one more jump, and it can't reach us. Oh my god, did you see that shadow? It was just about to squish us. But here we... ought to be safe. Yeah, he doesn't really know where to go with that crane. Huh, okay, that's fine. So, with the press of a button, we are gonna inflict some cinematic death on this guy. Just observe that. I love how Lara had to make sure that he was dead. She was still being cautious as she tried to flip over that table. What I want to know is what he had for lunch and what's in that thermos, but I guess we'll never find out. Anyway, 2 more lockers where we're gonna find some supplies. There should be a pair of Uzi clips and a small health pack, all good. Seeing as I'm doing terribly in terms of health bar preservation so far. I do love how detailed these animations are, but after a while let's just say it takes a lot of unnecessary time. They could have sped them up. This is basically my grab with the very originals game's block pushing. They just could have done those animations faster, regardless of how realistic they were. I know that it was a conscious design decision, I think made by Toby Gard at the time, to make Lara feel realistic and weightier, and mind the safer safety drops so we don't take any damage. But yeah, I'm just not a big fan. Anyway, Lara ripped out this metal door over here with the rails. So let's go further. Oh, and you know what? I think we are now in a good position to declare a no pistols challenge. At least up until the next level where things will reset again. Anyway, let's try and conserve ammo nevertheless as much as possible. So not start shooting immediately, but only once we get closer. Okay, I think I fired off a couple of bullets that I did not need to. I hope it's gonna be fine. We have 36 more. Whew, okay, but I have a strategy, a plan. Oh yeah, mind you, very important thing. You can go also to the right path, but you'll be blocked via a locked door. We need to get a key, and I'm gonna show you where that is. But first of all, second secret, yay! And I think this is a very good spot to also explain what our overall objective is, okay? So first of all, let me climb onto this crate. Again, a dynamic object, but we can climb on top safely. That's really neat. So another crane. Cranes are very central to this level. We need to move this by 180 degree to that direction, climb on top of it, and jump into the submarine, okay? That's our ticket in. The nuclear submarine that Charles Kane or Jean-Yves, depending on which version of the game we're talking about, mentioned. There is an expedition led by some Russian mafioso who bribed a Russian admiral and his company of soldiers to use their submarine and get to the last known location of the Spear of Destiny. We talked briefly about the Spear of Destiny in my previous video when we look at the unlockable extras. Now you can actually compare those storyboards with the real FMVs as used in the game. Honestly, not a big fan of the FMV. The German voice acting was terrible. Anyway, yeah, so that's our objective. To do that, we need to operate the crane. To do that, we need to enter the control room over there and enter a fuse. To find the fuse, we need to get from this dock over on the other side behind this pile of crates into sort of a shower room where the fuse is, and then come back. Okay, you got all that? Good. Now, be very careful about these windows. Whilst really insignificant right now, once we return here with a fuse, they will occupy 2 soldiers, and not just any kinds of soldiers, but somehow some red beret snipers from the Russian army, okay? Those guys are not to be messed around with, but we're gonna get the perfect tool to dispatch them. I am actually looking forward to that segment. Anyway, second secret, yay! Took my time explaining it and delaying getting to the secret. So there's just one more remaining. Oh, and maybe one other important thing that I want to highlight, even though it's not at all necessary. But honestly, I guess that's how I do my videos. In case you ever fall down here into this pointless cracked ice pool of water, yeah, there is absolutely nothing here. You do not have to bother. You cannot even escape the map or do anything cool like I did in Trajan's Markets, okay? Unfortunately, there are invisible barriers all around us. So in the rusty wall over there is not really accessible, attached to the submarine, no. Instead, there is basically just a ladder to show you a path back in case you fall down, that's it. I don't know, I feel like they could have made it a deathly leap and they didn't have to put in a ladder, but what do I know? So yeah, if you're thinking of making a diagonal jump and making your way onto the submarine that way, which would actually be way more efficient, Lara, we cannot because of invisible boundaries on the map. Now, our swipe card, our trusty companion taking us through the entire level, I have no idea what high-ranking soldier we killed, but I'm sure happy we did, gives us access to this generator room. Now, the music is a bit of a hint. Crouch down and observe. Okay, so he's sneaking from here, and unload on him, and before he'll have time to react, he should be down. Wonderful. He will drop another, I think, silver key again? Yep. No. So these silver keys, they did not call silver key 1 and 2. Interesting. Anyway, 3 fuses, 2 fuses. That's supposed to be a hint that you need to put the third one here, okay? That's basically it. Once you do, a door will open here with a button that will move the crane and allow us to board that submarine. That's pretty much it. And no, at least as far as I know, there is no conceivable way to climb those crates on the other side. Instead, we'll return. I'm gonna demonstrate what the other corridor was all about when we were ambushed by these 2 soldiers. You know, killing soldiers I do feel actually kind of bad for. I mean, they're kind of just been drafted and are doing their job, you know. It's not like they're paid mercenaries or anything like that. Well, Lara is ruthless. She has no ill feelings like that whatsoever. So unlock this gate. Oh, and there's gonna be an amazing cutscene. I love this in Tomb Raider 5.
Move your men along, Yarofev. I do not pay such extortionate prices for incompetence.
You forget, Mikhailov. I am still an admiral of the Russian Navy, and as such, demand respect.
While you accept my bribes for use of the submarine, you are under my employ and will follow my instructions without complaint.
If I deal with the like of you to keep my men in bread, it does not make me one of you.
Ha ha! Relax, my friend. We are 2 sides of the same coin.
Mafioso filth. Rushev, hurry on with that box. Our new commander demands efficiency. Enough, enough! Board and seal hatches.
As you have promoted me to commander, is it not fitting to board before the admiral?
Okay. I love how the admiral called the mafioso a commander and he took it literally and had to enter first. I don't know, something sweet about that. And by the way, those soldiers loading up the crates, why do they all look like Duke Nukems? I was always confused on that point. Anyway, one important thing, you can just continue the level via descending down already, but you would miss a laser sight and some, yes, you're not imagining things, those are in fact Desert Eagle clips. My god, sweet, good Desert Eagle. We haven't seen you since the times of Tomb Raider 3, or, well, technically the Lost Artifact expansion. There's something about this ledge that just makes me want to do a handstand, even though the camera is not helping. But yeah, just repeat exactly the same jump and get your hands on those goodies. Without them, actually, taking care of the snipers later on is going to be... Well, Lara never aims at them. She does not auto-aim. You can only take them out manually. I do not understand why. Okay, and there we go. A laser sight. Yeah. You cannot combine it with Uzis or pistols. We know that from Rome chapter. We need the Desert Eagle. We actually never have seen a Desert Eagle combined with a laser sight. Back in Tomb Raider 3 there was no laser sight, and in Tomb Raider 4 that was replaced by a revolver, just like in Rome in Tomb Raider 5. Anyway, keyhole. And this right here is misleading. There is no opening this door, nor the door underneath it, okay? It's just there because they had no other door texture. I guess I don't know, this irritates me. This makes me feel like we are missing something, okay? Now, in order for us to be really thorough, let me show you this area. This one's more interesting because, again, cracked ice, no point, just a ladder leading out. But on the other side, over here, I cannot really take out Binox because Lara refuses to climb here, but we can see the third and final secret of this level behind it. it's not really a hint in terms of how to get there, because the way you get there just is so incredibly random. I mean, yeah, nothing is random, but there are no hints or foreshadowing. You just need to be an observant in a seemingly unrelated room to reach it, and it will make a bit more sense later on. And now, for the very final time, let's swipe that swipe card. I think this is the 4th or 5th door it opened for us. My goodness. I don't think there ever was such a master key in any Tomb Raider level before. Anywho. Oh, important thing. Notice the footsteps. I haven't talked about footsteps. Again, these are from PS1 version of the game. Lara will not be able to leave around an endless trail of footsteps. At some point, as new ones start appearing, the old ones will start disappearing. There is a limitation to how many that can be, okay? But just really enjoy them for what they are, and in case you're a PC version purist and don't want the footsteps here, you can always disable them in the via the Tomb 5 patch. I think they are... Wait, am I just... Oh, they're the very first option that I overlooked, yep. So I had those on. Awesome. Okay, now, there is a dog. And 12 Uzi bullets is not enough to take it down, and I have declared my no pistols challenge, so what on earth are we to do? I'm gonna do something very risky. Notice the dog on the left? And immediately go and pick up the Desert Eagle in this locker. And this should give us enough time to dispatch it. Oh, there you are, you beautiful weapon. I'm not even going to use a laser sight. By the way, the hotkey is the same as for revolver, that's done before. Okay, the dog was not particularly active. Good for us. Okay, so no pistols challenge still maintained. 12 Uzi bullets, just not enough to take these guys down. They have way more health than the dogs in Italy, which might seem a bit strange, as it took 3 revolver bullets to take those down. But if you remember what I said, revolver in Tomb Raider 5 has a much weaker damage output than the Desert Eagle. Honestly, as it should be, in my humble opinion. So it was not intended as a powerhouse weapon, just as a laser sight weapon. I believe this locker is empty, directly opposite of us, but I want to show you that that's the case. Again, putting my money where my mouth is, awesome. But really the only important one is the one right next to it, because this is where we will find the fuse to put into the generator to turn the crane to board the Admiral's, or now the Mafioso's submarine. There we go. I think it's even called the fuse in our inventory. Ah, that's it. A fuse. Why do they put the A? There's no consistency in the nomenclature. Heck, even the base is actually written with a small b, and the next level is going to be the same kind of offender. It's called the something, and that something is going to be written with a minor letter. Why does that irritate me? My OCD striking hard. Okay, so that's all the lockers. Again, I have searched for all of these multiple times. There are no other items, okay? Now, we can totally leave, but we would be missing out on the third and final secret. I think binocs are perfect for this, because if you zoom in and look over there and shine some light, one of the showers that's leaking, there is a grate underneath, and you can absolutely open that grate. I don't really want to imagine what kind of rancid filth Lara will be entering, therefore, in the drain, but there you have it. And you know what? Let me light up a flare here, since it's our first time through this tunnel. It's a dead end on the left, let's just continue to the right. There are no items, no goodies or anything like that, we just need to make it through. Once you make it through once, getting back should be a bit easier. I'm gonna do it without a flare. Okay. I should probably not be so wasteful with flares, seeing as there is no flares pickup in this level. We just have those 3 we started with. I felt like that's kind of an oversight of this level, to not give us more of them. Anyway, there we are, next to the third and final golden rose. So maybe you now see what I meant, but by seeing it from the other side not really being a helpful hint on how to get there. Yeah, it's just, well, gives us the impression that the level is interconnected, so that's something, I guess. Now let's try and swim back via it being a bit darker. And again, mind you, finding 3 secrets in this level will unlock no extra concept art. I presume, I mean, I have not reached that point yet, but I presume that that's gonna happen once we find the 3rd secret in the 4th Russian level. We'll see. And then I'm gonna, of course, show you what's there. Alright, we should make it out very soon. Remember, that was a dead-end tunnel. Okay, don't make the mistake. You can lose precious oxygen. There we are, back in the shower room. Oof. I don't envy the soldiers here. I mean, just... this place screams socialism. Oh, let's get out of here. Okay. And we are outside. Yep, and this is the door which leads to the staircase, which leads to the second dock. Remember this crossroads where the two soldiers ambushed us? Yeah. Cool interconnectivity. I like this a lot. And be very careful. Run, run, run. I think this might be the best place to cover. Oh, you could probably already heard someone taking a shot at us. Because here we are surrounded by snipers. Now, you cannot see him. You can see his shadow for whatever reason. I think we need to peek out more or he becomes visible. But Lara will not aim at these guys. You know what? Let me demonstrate maybe even. Oh, there he is. Now you could see him. And Lara does not aim. But equipping the laser sight and zooming in yourself. Let's move closer. Even closer. Oh, there he is. And try to headshot these guys, okay? If you shoot them in the head, and I really love this, and I have not seen it implemented on a different enemy so far, you will take them out with one shot. If you hit them anywhere else, it's gonna take 3 shots, okay? And that guy we cannot see yet, but how about... I'm a bit worried this is gonna be a kind of an invisible barrier scenario. Okay, there you are. Ah, nice, we headshotted both of them. Sweet. Now, there is no way to reach these guys, so I cannot actually reliably tell you that they drop anything, unfortunately, but I somehow doubt that. We are not supposed to reach those parts of the base. Okay. So that takes care of that. I think these are really the only snipers in the entire game. I would wish more of situations like this, you know, taking full use of the manual aim. I don't know, I find it fun, ever since I discovered zooming. And that's it, the generator is running, but keep that Desert Eagle ready. Not necessarily because of the aim, but... yeah, that dog. Trust me, you don't want to be tangoing these guys up close. They will run around you like frenzied beasts, because that's what they are. Nice, the crane has moved. By the way, during this cutscene you have full control over Lara, but I find that if you do anything with her, then it stops showing you prematurely how the crane moves, right? And well, that makes me sad. Someone put effort into that. Okay, there we go. And finally... Alright, now you need to make a running jump to reach the submarine over there, and the level will be over. So I just set myself up nicely, and we're gonna do that running jump. But first of all, the final stats of the base level, the first Russian level. So we have found all 18 items, we have killed all 10 enemies, 3 dogs, 5 standard soldiers and 2 snipers. We have broken 5 objects, that being 2 vent covers and 3 shootable windows. We have found all 3 secrets, bringing us to the total of 12, and that's 1/3 of Tomb Raider 5 done. At least secret-wise, not necessarily length-wise. Okay, so I hope you enjoyed this short, sweet level. Again, I love this. I love the fact that we are outside, that the scenery has changed, we're not stuck in one geographic location, and I absolutely adore the writing of the cutscenes here. Again, just like always, you can see the time taken, the distance traveled in meters and squares, and the ammo used specific to this level on the right side of the screen. With that in mind, let me make a save here, and I will see you guys next time in the submarine.
Economy class.